So with
Yes.
fast fashion, I have a couple of hypotheses about this. If the first piece of data that I find stunning is a colleague of mine calls it fashion bulimia, which is you buy an article of clothing, you wear it twice, and then it goes to a landfill, right? Which is not great.
Exactly.
And what she found was that if you looked at the turn of the century, so 1900, the average woman owned something like 5 pieces of clothing and wore them a couple of hundred times, before they were replaced. Today, that's reversed. You own a couple of hundred pieces of clothing and you wear them 5 times. And, I think it's a fascinating statistic. But I actually trace a lot of the interest in fast fashion to the conjunction of cameras and cell phones. And that started, the very first cell phones that had cameras started in about 2003. And the target of these phones was often teenagers, and if you think about what does clothing do for teenagers, a lot of it is communication. And so once you had cameras, now there's this incentive to have a different outfit every time you're in a picture. So what you really want is clothing like that disappears the minute you take it. So I almost think there's an opportunity to say, if you are in a different outfit every time there's a picture taken of you, that is environmentally irresponsible. And I think you could begin to reverse that narrative. But starting from the demand side, and I think this is another area where I think we struggle, right? Because a lot of what we're trying to do is affect the supply side, do this in a more responsible way. But we're not also looking at the demand side. And so I think there's a number of angles you could take to deal with the demand side of a lot of these issues as well.
I like that. I've never thought of that. I guess
There
I'm
you
so
go.
far from my teen years, although I'll see it soon in my daughter. She's 9 years old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that
But if you think of
generation,
the companies that really were behind this, so the Zaras and the HSMs and the smaller providers, what they basically said to these teenagers, I mean, not just teenagers, but they honed in on that sort of young demographic. What they basically did was created a model where there was an urgency around purchase. So if you see that pencil skirt, you better buy it today because we may not have more in stock. You saw instant replenishment at the store level, which again was very attractive to the customer. And what Zara in particular did, which is owned by a parent company, they would set up their stores, not set up in strip malls, not like where they would set their stores up right next to, a Bloomingdale's or something. And so they were perceived as this luxury fashion, but at this cheap and cheerful price, with the added urgency of buy it today, it may not be here tomorrow. So they created this entire demand structure, which, if you think about the apparel business, it used to be you had 4 seasons, right? And it was all very carefully designed for those 4 seasons. I'm not saying that was great for the environment either, but it was definitely less taxing than the free for all we've got now, where it's like continuous replenishment, continuous supply. And I'm just wondering if there isn't something that could be done about the demand side of that, like bring attention to the fact that that pencil skirt you bought, you better plan on keeping that for a while if you're going to be environmentally responsible.